everyone, and welcome to another Minisode of the Investigation Game. I'm your host Alycia, here with Leah. This week we are talking about the FBI. I remember in last week's episode you mentioned that you had met Don because you were interviewing him about his time in the Bureau, and you had plans to go into it yourself.
Yeah.
So this week, and we're setting our timer now.
That's right.
I just kind of want to dive into like your path and going from there and where you're at now and just different stuff like that. So if you're ready, I am.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's start the timer. You already started it. Okay. So why did you want to become an agent?
Oh gosh. From the time I was probably 8 years old or so, I listened to these radio dramas. They were called Adventures in Odyssey. And they had a character in this one show, such a minor character that whenever we asked the radio program if they actually had like a character drawing or anything of her, they're like, no, nobody ever talks about this character. But Leah remembered this character her entire life. But her name was Tasha Forbes, and she was a national security agent. And I just thought she was so cool. And she was the first like kind of female or career female that probably I'd ever experienced, you know, as a kid. Just was really drawn to that, and then reading mystery books and detective books. So by the time I was 12 years old, I had decided I wanted to be an investigator. By the time I was a freshman in high school, I started researching all the different, you know, all the alphabet soup, like CIA, FBI, Secret Service. I mean, you name it.
Wow.
Like, you name it, I researched it. And so by the time, you know, I was kind of in the middle of high school, I had decided I wanted to stay domestic and I wanted to work for the FBI. Then when I was in college, I had the opportunity to apply for an honors internship. It was in between my junior and senior year at ORU. I even chose my major based on the different areas that the FBI was hiring. Like, when I say I wanted to be an agent by the time I was 12, like, I was all in.
Wow.
I mean, it was, like, determining my life plan, you know? Like, I mean, I didn't really even date, right? Like, I was, like, all in.
Your boyfriend was the FBI.
Almost. Like, there was a joke that there were some of the people I was interns with that would say that, no, Leah's going to get married before she becomes an agent. And I would just respond, no, agent first. Like, it was this whole thing. But, which, you know, fun fact, I got married before I became an agent because I never became an agent. Yeah, so I had this internship between my junior and senior year of college. I had chosen the accounting major. I got to work for 10 weeks on the East Coast in West Virginia as an intern, and I got to do so many fun things. Then around that time, they were rolling out an internship where you could go back to your local field office, which for us was Oklahoma City, and you could see if they had funding for this internship program. Oklahoma City did. I believe I was the only intern out of 180 interns that fed into this program. I was the only one that went back and actually got paid to be an intern for the FBI for the next 2 years. Like, it was pretty crazy.
Wow. So
I worked under Janetta, who was on one of our episodes, the check kiting episode. So I worked under Janetta, the forensic accountant for the Tulsa office, for about 2 years. Then at the end of the 2 years, I explored all different kinds of options within the Bureau and just didn't really find the right fit. Didn't know if that was the best move because I was 23 years old, and did I want to stay in the Bureau for my entire career? So I decided to go do what every quote unquote good accountant does and work in public accounting. And so then while I was there, that's when I started working on forensic accounting cases outside as a private citizen. The rest is kind of history. Yeah.
That's so cool how the reason why Don wanted to become an agent is really similar to the reason why you wanted to become an agent, because I remember him saying it was something about a show and watching these outlaws or something like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's so funny how kind of art influences our decisions, or, you know, the things that appeal to us. And I can't tell you how many people, especially in divorce cases, like, they'll come in and they're like, I just know I should have been a detective. You know, I always wanted to be a private investigator. I always wanted to be Sherlock Holmes. So I'm just really fortunate that I so wanted to be that I committed my entire life to it.
I could only imagine what it was like to be your parent at that time.
Oh gosh, you should ask my mom sometime.
Oh, I will. Just like, what was it like to raise someone so set on like investigating people and being in that kind of career?
I feel like she would probably say that she just didn't worry about me. She didn't worry about me like living off of them forever.
Yeah, that's true. And like,
I don't know, Mom. Not wanting to put words in my mouth. My mom does listen to every episode, especially the minisodes. So, you know,
that makes me feel so much better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask my next question.
Mm-hmm.
When did your dream of being an FBI agent change?
Yeah, I think it actually changed whenever I started Workman Forensics. Because even when I was in public accounting, I really thought I would go back to the bureau, like get a few years experience and then reapply, preferably as an agent to take that path. But I started dating my now husband. Our anniversary's in a couple weeks, so yeah, 8 years. So I started dating him just kind of throughout that process. He said, have you ever thought about starting your own business? And I was like, no, I was going to be an agent, of course. And so then, but once I started working cases and just getting to be involved in the entire process, I've just had so many opportunities by taking that risk and going out on my own and doing this, that I had so many unique experiences that I really don't, I might be jumping ahead on your questions, I'm sorry, but I don't like look back and regret not becoming an agent, because I think that I've had exposure to more things than I ever would have as an agent. Mm-hmm. And not to mention kind of, I mean, are we ever in control? That's, is control like a myth or whatever, but like it kind of gave me more discretion over what types of cases did I work, which cases did I find interesting or not interesting, or even taking risks that maybe somewhere that had more like red tape and stuff, I wouldn't have ever gotten to work on those. And so, I don't know. But it definitely, once I started Workman, that's when I realized I don't think I want to be an agent anymore. And I still think that today.
Yeah.
And I better decide soon, because you can only apply up to like age 36. So
really?
I got like 1 year.
Wow. So there's just going to be like that year where you really decide like...
I'm 37. Yeah, I know. So I got to decide, am I going to become an agent? No, for all of you out there. No. I'm not going to become an agent.
I was like ready to like have this whole like series of like, will she, won't she?
Oh gosh, you would.
Okay, so I guess you totally stole one of my questions, by the way.
Sorry.
But I guess the next question I want to dive into is, how has the dream of becoming an agent come into fruition through Workman Forensics and all the different products that we make here? Like, have you kind of accomplished your dream goal?
Yeah, I think I have. I mean, I've gotten to work with the FBI, well, with lots of different law enforcement agencies through Workman Forensics, like by helping our clients take their case to law enforcement. It definitely opened, like working for FBI opened some doors for me to volunteer the financial crimes unit of the Tulsa Police Department. And so I got to work with them for a while. And then I also worked with the state auditor's office for a while. Just kind of having that background, I got to work with all these other state agencies and now have friends or contacts and kind of still getting to live like those types of cases. There's just a certain kind of case that you can only kind of work whenever you have those connections. And so I've been able to do that. But then at the same time, I've worked defense cases where I'm actually on the other side of the FBI, which is a weird place to be, but still has been really challenging but rewarding. Then now through the products, I think just by having all of this different experience, I can then help other fraud investigators and data analysts kind of live out, like maybe they won't ever have the opportunity to go do those things, but by setting up a practice where I do have employees, we're not just just the Leah show, because it's not just me working cases, then I've been able to give other people opportunities. Those people who are like, man, I really love data, but I kind of always wanted to be an investigator or whatever. Like, they're getting more opportunities. And then also through the products, being able to help other people become a modern day Sherlock Holmes, whether they are an investigator or whether they are somebody going through divorce. That's kind of become our mission and vision, is to help other people become a modern day Sherlock Holmes. And so for me, that's still, I don't know, it's just kind of connecting all the different worlds, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I do think that I like to equip people. And because I had such unique, one intern out of 180 interns to go experience something, I feel like those types of experiences in my life that I've been so blessed to have, I'm now being able to like take that little bit of a seed and like share it with other people.
So I do want to ask real quick. I know it's not from my original questions, and you have
okay.
6 seconds. Do you think your 7-year-old self is proud of yourself?
I think so.
Oh, that's so sweet. I tried so hard to like make that question quick.
You did so good.
I know. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. If you have any questions or comments about anything brought up, please feel free to email us at podcast@workmanforensics.com. Thanks for listening.